Alright, so Steph the Nanny asks, paperback or audiobook? Top 3 fave books of all time, assuming you like to read for fun like this nerd points at self. If not, then disregard, lol. Thank you so much, Steph, for that. Paperback or audiobook? That's a good question. And the idea, assuming you like to read for fun like this nerd. Like this nerd, you say nerd as if like it's like a security net. You use nerd as if it's a word you need to like fall back on, like as if I'm gonna judge you for reading when you can clearly see the things behind me. I'm past the point of that. I'm past the point of no return. There's no coming back from this. If you look all around me, I'm surrounded by nerdiness. Oh, holy sun. I have a bookshelf over there full of books. Believe me. I will say most of them are young adult novels. Most of them came to me from like middle school days. So there are a bunch of them I still haven't read. But okay, my point being is I don't read nearly as much as I'd like to. I really do appreciate reading. And then I appreciate people who appreciate that they read. I have a couple books I want to get through. There's one I didn't read a single full book in 2017. If that gives you any indication of where I stand with reading. Here's the thing, because I love all sorts of media. So when I start a book, it's like, okay, I could continue reading this. Hello, Holy Spirit. I could continue reading this book. Or I could go into a flashier, more distraction, like a video game, a television, or a film. Or yeah, that's all I got. So, wow, I'm taking way too long to answer this question. My point being, I don't think I could safely say top 3 favorite books of all time. Because I haven't read enough books. I'm in the young adult range still. I haven't read enough past that. It's like, even in high school and schools all around the country, they tried to get me to read things. But no, I pussyfoot around it. I pussyfoot my way around reading it because I'm shortcut McDaniel. I'm like, I'm not going to waste time reading this Black Elk Speaks when I could. Or Great Expectations, though I did read that mostly. When I could be playing my video games. These were simpler times as well. My point being is, I always prefer a physical version, paperback. You say paperback, but I preferred hardcover. But I don't finish books, I don't read books lately, so I'm thinking maybe audiobook is the way. I've never actually done audiobooks. And it's generally a subscription-based thing, so like I don't really have room for more subscriptions right now. Like I have Netflix, I have to pay for like the website, and I have all these different things that I have to pay for monthly. So I don't know if I really have room for Audible, something like that right now. But I don't know. Like, would I be more apt to finish books that way? Probably, actually, because I have hour drives to and from school. And then I like go into work, short drives. So I imagine in all those times I generally listen to podcasts when I can. There's only one podcast I listen to right now. So maybe if I did audiobooks, then maybe I'd be reading master. Can you say you're reading if it's audiobooks though? That's my question for you. But I will say my favorite book is Ready Player One. Oh, hello. Ready Player One is a great book. If you nerdiness, glad you brought it up. If you're into nerdiness at all, a lot of 80s pop culture references, stuff like that, that is a great one. And you might have heard of it. It's coming to be a movie theater. Alright, so paperback, but maybe I should be an audiobook person. You let me know what I should do. Also, let me know any books I should read, honestly. Like, I'm willing to hear your suggestions, because a lot of the books are probably not my age range now. Not that I've ever shied away from a kid's toy. I just don't know if a lot of the books I used to love, I can still appreciate them now. Be interested to go back. Like the Percy Jackson books, I have a bunch of those. I have all the Percy Jackson books, but then Rick Riordan, the author of those books, has kept doing series after that. I wonder if they're at all relevant to me, or if only young adults would. I'm a young adult. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the question. Love you. Thank you, Steph. Thank you so much. If you want to ask a question, zacharcher.net/AMA. There's no limit. You can keep asking questions till your brains fall out. For now, I'm going to go... I will tell you before I go, the one book that I started reading back early last year, but have yet to finish, I'd like to finish at some point. It's this book right here. It's called Playing Dead. It actually fascinated me. It was Rhett and Link at the end of one of the Good Mythical Mornings. It's just one of those, generic sponsor bits where they recommend a book. But the concept fascinated me. It's about faking your death. It's about a person who would help people try to escape their lives. If they're in an abusive relationship and trying to get away, things like that. But a lot of faking death stuff. So that concept's always really fascinated me. The idea that someone could fake their own death. So I did actually go out and get that, or I got it for a gift. I forget. Speaking of which, Rhett and Link's Book of Mythicality. Ooh. This is great. I mean, I've skimmed through most of it. I read a good amount of it, actually. This isn't a traditional book, obviously. It's not a novel, but it is really interesting. It gets some good insight. Really cool, a close, two best friends. This is kind of the model of friendship here. Their whole idea of mythicality as a concept and, creativity in general. Hold on, while I'm whipping books out, I do have, a year or two ago, I remember, a yard sale. They were really cheap. I got all the Lord of the Rings books, the 3 of them, and then a few of the Harry Potter books as well, which I've never read either of those, despite seeing the movies. So I'd be interested to actually go back and read those. That would be probably a lot of fun. Here is Ready Player One. This is great. This is a nice hardcover. They probably nowadays they have those movie. They will have a lot of the movie edition. When things like the Hunger Games, probably Harry Potter too, where they come out and they have these movie version covers and stuff. It's really great. Something about it really drew me in. The idea of a virtual world has always been super fascinating to me. Yeah, that's books for you. Thank you so much. Genuinely, I'd like to hear books. Genuinely, I prefer fantasy worlds. I do really just like fantasy worlds. Fictional books, fiction books in general. Really, not a huge nonfiction fan. There are some cool things historical books that I do enjoy, nonfiction wise, but generally, I'm not a huge fan of the stories where it's just about an abusive father and a mother who doesn't live